bicycle. There I was, and there I spun, a world so in between, the one I know, the one I love, and some forgotten dream. I felt aware, I felt the scare, more than aware exactly what I had seen, a marble ghost, a deadly host, myself beyond machinery. In the stars, I'm behind bars, a place so long ago, did I feel so visceral to me I used to know. And in that space between my face and telling what is real, I find again that childhood friend, standing on two wheels. I ride this life through now and then, courting lovers, finding friends, but never do I wholly know from where I come to where I go. And yet I am a lonely me, oceans over none do see, and simply here, where all do stand, a wobbling child without a hand. Spinning wheels now catching speed, not yet, sorry. Spinning wheels now catching speed, driven forth by lust and greed, freedom found on open road where nothing's paid and nothing owed. This life has come to be so sweet, riding on through newfound street, and yet it can't go on forever, no matter sun or shining weather. All we riders have our day, the end of words can't help but say, without claim to wholly just, the bike rides on just as it must. In time, the paint begins to rust and the joints begin to crack, but on this ride we don't turn back. We ride until the wheels fall off, the spokes blow out and the handles wither. This bike is life, and I its liver. But what do I know? I'm just an old man in a leather sack, wishing for my younger brother never to look back. I don't know everything, Adam, but I leave you this. Come out into the world and find us. We'll be where you take the risk. I love you more than words can say, and I have not yet had my day. But I don't want to leave you whole until your flame has touched the soul. So when you look upon the stars and wonder where I went, ride your bike into the south and meet me in the wind. There are 3 paths I've found to follow. Love. This life can be a love affair, braving straight for those we care. On this path we'll surely die, but with a love and reason why. Fight. This life can be a burning battle. Find yourself on warhorse saddle. Sure, this life has pain and grief, but all your pain does serve the peace. Accept. This life can be a great acceptance, not for love and not for penance. Nothing ever comes to me, but in the stillness, all I see. This life has no aim to make things last. This life brings you a shiny vehicle with no bow and asks you to ride. Where will you go? No is the only wrong answer. So say it with me, brother. If it's a bicycle, I must ride. Then a bicycle will I ride. And again. If it's a bicycle, I must ride. Then a bicycle will I ride. I'll always be with you. But if it's a bicycle, I must ride.
How's everyone doing? Alright, I have 2 new shits. Alright, this first piece was inspired by the local amazing poet Amalia Ortiz, who has this poem called Third Generation. This has an epigraph. She says in the beginning of her poem, they say the first generation sacrifices so the second generation can achieve, only for the third generation to squander, and these third generation hands, these hands have never picked cotton. And the fourth generation is left to figure out the future. We couldn't build a hearth at the burning heart of a house, but we could set up your Alexa to run the whole house. We didn't work 80-hour weeks to send the children to school in white, clean clothes, to keep a roof afloat in a sea of economic insecurity, to keep the beans boiling over the blue flame of the stove, but we work 80 hours a week to send ourselves to school, to keep the apartment afloat in a sea of economic insecurity, to keep the ramen noodles with sriracha at the ready to the hungry bellies of friends and girlfriends, chosen tribes, far from the barrios and campos and ranchos of our families, where they tour and shred corn tortillas with family and strangers. We didn't pick cotton, but we wore cotton. We wore polished shoes. We saw our grandparents and loved them. We saw our great-grandparents and missed them. We saw our parents. We saw the cul-de-sac snap in half and the children boomerang back from the adult world at a loss for words, at a loss for purpose. We had our hands ready for work and bleed. And we were given the internet. We had hands that were ready for the revolution, and we were handed a debt. We have hands, we have hands, we have hands. We have a virtual reality that makes us look like movie stars, so we stopped shooting for them. We were given a holy world that was treated as disposable and then chided for not treating anything sacred, hoping against fireflies that the world doesn't burn away before our hands get a chance to build anything for the future. Thank you. I'm like in this weird millennial stage where I'm just like, man. It's like, man, do you buy a house? No, they don't go no. Do you have kids? Why? There's one knows if you and they gonna live in the same studio yo at. This poem is called Elon is Building Rockets or Whitey is on Mars, after Gil Scott Heron. The apartment people are raising my rent like it's a motherfucking party up in here. And Whitey is on Mars. Making Twitter friendlier for fascists, open an opioid epidemic everywhere, and not worrying about things like better health care, but Whitey is on Mars. Well, Whitey isn't on Mars yet. His feet have not indented red ground nor impressed himself upon pre-colonized land yet. Haven't found blue skies to pollute or water sources to redirect to the nice $350,000 starting suburbs for the Martians yet. No, not yet. He's still aiming rockets and satellites past the moon, past these cities and neighborhoods, past the white folks so ignorant they don't even know that they're getting left behind too, past Florida, sinking into the mouth of Neptune, past F6, F7, F8, and 9 hurricanes that are coming soon. The cost of bread and water are 53 million miles over the Earth, and Whitey wants Mars, stripping this planet of all the good things to go somewhere else, to bring Coca-Cola and adult Happy Meals to the little green men, to set up their Facebook accounts and emails, to track their spending habits on Mars, to give them body issues and depression, OnlyFans and anxiety, just to say we did it. We did it. We did it on Mars. Why he needs more room to let his nut hang, to park more Teslas and yachts, more tax havens, a place where he can call the Martians he finds they're Indians, or the N-word, or the 99%, or whatever word gets invented for the people who don't appreciate losing their shit.
There's a saying in the theory of Wesley: we shouldn't give a bust of money. We should be sending his ass back home where he belongs. A jealous woman tells her cheating man that not only he ain't shit, he is not the king of the planet Earth, but he bounces back with these words of a jazzy beat. This dick of his ain't free. He's got a bone to pick with a few, with a lot of fools thinking he's Kunta Kinte, but it's the throne of hip-hop. If these walls could talk, they should say a lot. All my life I had to fight. We gonna be alright. How much will the dollar cost? The blacker the berry, the sweeter the juice. You ain't gotta lie to kick it. A reckless crowd surfs ensues. until a legend surfaces. Ronald Isley, aka Mr. Biggs. He caused the butterfly to spit the message with the legendary staple of Who's That Lady? The ghost of a revolutionary man, Nelson Mandela, who opposes the apartheid society. They know when shit always hits the fan, but are we still a fan of someone even though controversy still mires their minds? I remember you was conflicted, misusing your influence. Sometimes I did the same. I didn't want to self-destruct. The evils of Lucy was all around me. Found myself screaming in the hotel room. So I went out looking for answers until I came home. But that didn't stop survivor's guilt. Maybe want to go back and convince myself the stripes I earned. Or maybe how A1 my foundation was. But when my loved ones was fighting a continuous war back in the city, I was entering a new one. The war that was based on apartheid and discrimination. Made me want to go back to the city and tell the homies what I learned. The word was respect. Just because you wore a different gang color than mine doesn't mean I can't respect you as a black man. Forgetting all the pain and hurt we caused each other in these streets. If I respect you, we unify and stop the enemy from killing us. But I don't know. I'm no mortal man. Maybe I'm just another nigga. Kendrick Lamar.
I'm breaking my heart right now. I'm gonna do a small introduction and I'm done. This is about like my personal journey with addiction, and haven't said this out loud ever. They say happiness can't be found in a bottle. Well, if that's true, then why the fuck do I have so many empty bottles? If that's true, then why the fuck are they feeding me drugs and expecting me not to use drugs? It's called medication, but that's only if it's used as prescribed. And when we all sit in surprise when the substance isn't prescribed, and now it's no longer legalized. And now I'm a fucking addict because I was fed the lies and I blushed. Meanwhile, my pupils stay dilated, my brain cells are getting fucking annihilated because it's white lines from now, then it'll be white lies. Until I'm finally demolished and my body becomes paralyzed. Because right now I've become so fucking desensitized, but really I'm fucking terrified of the drugs because they have me mesmerized and thoughts of these have me terrorized. I know I never really empathized how bad it got, but I finally realized that I need to put these drugs aside, use my medication as a try because when I want to be alive and because now I know I finally want to live, so I'm making changes that you won't see. Don't ghost me because I'm trying to become a better me. I want to stop chasing drugs like I'm a fucking drug fiend. Because if not, I know that last pill, I know that one pill might be the last one I swallow, and death is a hard pill to follow, and this shit is fucking serious. I really feel like I'm being obnoxious and I'm always walking around like I'm suspicious. Don't do drugs.
I want to finger her fretboard and hear myself beg her to show me the riff. The one that she uses to transition between her rendition of that Melissa Etheridge standard and one of Mama DeFranco's songs. I want to span the throw of a radical, wearing a Susan B. Anthony graphic tee over breast set loose bras burning in her eyes as reflecting the bonfires of the distance. I want 7 minutes in heaven in an ivory closet with a Wellesley girl, lavender, please bring out the menace in me. I want to hold her wrist, pump my knee into her crotch, bodies pushed together, making out against stone walls in the light of a Molotov. I want to taste forbidden fruits, a modest axe with 17th century nuns by candlelight until we sleep And then I'd awake to a sunrise for antiquity and the fanfare exchange between two sister cities, louder each time into one another's open mouths. I want to make love to the Venus of Willendorf, the prehistoric statuette with the most supple curves your palms could graze, convex, concave on a bed of limestone and moss. I want to vibe with the women and the envies that fucked a big bang into existence, to bump cunt with the Mesoamerican mother goddesses, to be a feathered serpent to her hurricane. She taught me with that aggressive femme energy, harness it into coming back, resurrecting after so many lifetimes, and use that power to teach boomers how to squirt. To learn from Gen Z what my body is truly worth. I want to be fucked, worthy, to love the woman in the mirror, roadmap stretches marked across the masa of my belly, tortilla, ancient crop with a ride, please eat all you want. I want to cry. I want to come holy water down my thighs, anointed with a gush of all the women that I've fucked, whose fingers have left marks on me, bruises, merit badges, and tallies, but I want to thank them for their divinity, see, because I want to make love to all the women that came before me, to exchange fluids dried clean by the winds, recycled and churned, the same winds that rustle the hair of the Vestal virgins and chaps the lips of the women that work the street corners. And when I am done, and when I have spent, I want to fall back on our grandmother's chest and thank her for the gift of our bodies, for the sugar and spice, for the things soured, the ones that come now and the ones that take time. You are divinity. Thank you.
So good to be back. I got new shit.
New shit.
Shit is new. 3 little short new shit.
Short shit.
Shit is short. I haven't touched pen to paper in ages, and maybe that's a metaphor for something. Maybe I'm tired of fighting to hide what I'm feeling, just to turn around and put it in a poem to be seen. I want someone out there to feel like they're not alone, but how can I let them know when I'm always so far away from the home I built inside myself? I put my thoughts up on a shelf and I let them collect dust, because we're all supposed to just clock in and make money and not give a fuck about anything. Thank you. January is icy blue skies and bare trees. Everything is so raw. Nature has this way of showing you exactly what you need, and right now, I just need to believe in something. I want to believe this cold exterior will melt the moment that you touch me. I want to believe that I can be bare and raw like the trees, showing you every naked part of me. I want to believe that love stays even when the winter nights are long and cold, and I want to believe that you'd stay to see me bare and raw like the trees, showing you every naked part of me. One more little short shit. Dim lighting and the smell of curry wafting through the room feels like a home I've never known. It feels safe here. Every New Year resolution and solemn, hopeful wish for another day doesn't exist in this place. Because in this booth, time goes on forever, and I'm just here, eating noodles with you. This moment doesn't ask for more from me. There is no tomorrow. There is no resolution. And I can just be. Thank you.
My name is Hernandez Delgado. First off, where are my Latina people at? And where are my queer people at? We celebrate. Dance is political. But politics are towards freedom. In Cruising Utopia, Munoz is interested in the queer politics and dance. The dance floor is the arena where queerness, the queer embodied are in the practice of queer rights. But this is something in our everyday life. There once was a repeal of these practices. 1969, New York City, Giuliani administrations displayed signs outside of bars, no dancing by order of New York Department of Consumer Affairs. You sit across someone. Perhaps you are in a cafe, some chill mix arrangements of music notes. They surround you, in you, had a long day, but you survived. Vive. There was a revolution. Abajo. Viv survived. Slowly turning a melt. Then he said, go forward. There are only words and the thing is celebrate. You respond with a touch, but it is a swivel through gestures, movement, enactments. I wanted to press against you. I could let you do the things you want, then sweat drips down his body. The heat is up. I know I will not be cold. Kind, he is gentle, but I waited. He served looks, dance. He served us all. I was impressed. He looked into my eyes. I want to know him. This is important. Lifted, unrestricted, to be continued.
Anyone got mommy issues? Alright, this is my poetry slam. It's called, I haven't titled it, but this is what I wrote. It says, I lost everything I love, but I've been doing okay. My bones still pop and suck like quicksand, and I still don't think before I speak, but I'm finally happy now. And I've stopped telling lies. But I think you'd be proud of me for that. I guess I wrote to you to tell you that I guess I don't need you anymore. So please don't try and come back. The fall from the top is softer than you think. And if you close your eyes, it's heaven for a while. That's all I got, y'all. That's all I got. No, that's all you got.
Please don't take my sunshine away. Let me be what I am. Let me be your man. You keep cutting me off and coming back. I know you in pain, fear, anger, and shame. I see you. I know what you need, and I give good gifts like my Abba in heaven. But you keep closing the door before we can get to the good part. Good gifts are very deep, but you've been hurt too many times, and deep love is painful like reverse orgasm. Mother Teresa said, if you love until it hurts, then love some more. There is no more hurt, only love. Keep digging with straightforward intention. Know what you want. Assume you have it. Let it materialize. Give birth to it. Love it. There is no guarantee love will love you back. Love is patient and kind, like 1 Corinthians 13. Let's read it together whenever you feel the need to push me away. Like a tiger with a thorn, too afraid, too in pain to find peace and love.
And then I remind myself, well, why don't fucking come here? Single mom shit. Price is going up. Consult the menu, but not for pricing. Only to choose a picture of what belly happiness used to look like before the fucking prices went up. And they did away with complimentary condiments. Fuck the establishment. My middle finger's going up, then I eat my words for breakfast, and middle fingers for a smack, because I can't afford to eat here. That's it. That's it.
The situation. Just have enough to snatch the children's kids placement. No qualms or reservations. Just put your names on a wait list. Section 8 is code for abatement. For the children and mothers, we don't want to abase them. Face their trauma. Cries out for mama. Years of neglection because we focus on elections. Use our community as a false impression. The lies from your teeth are covering their depression. Seven Oaks Apartments. Rings of hollow tips flew like a faucet because water could not flow through pipes. Babies coughed for mold in a silent fight. All I did was watch as it grew by, woke up to screams of domestic violence and murder. Mothers with no diapers or Gerber. A baby tried to ride her trike across the street to meet me. Cars whizzed by. Did not think twice about the poverty set before my eyes. I would vow to never wear a disguise. I lived near that Section 8. They will always be a part of me. Every single drip they bleed, not just the black mothers from New Orleans, but from the queens and the kings with disabilities. From those who drank 40s and stole candy from the mini marts, they could not afford a bus fare because what life dealt to them was unfair. Everything they owned went to lottery tickets at the Easy Mart. A vicious cycle full of mini marts. It's so weird how I missed that part. At Seven Oaks Apartments, there was always crime, even murder-suicide. A pair of twins with nothing left to win, just to live inside a big pig pen. Some always turned to the deep end, no neighbors or friends, just another means to an end. Drug addiction that we binge, dumped just outside the fringe. When we moved into Grandma's house, I looked across the street and saw a man drag a woman by her weave. I must have been 19. The SAPD saw it all and committed to the scene. The officer arrested him, but she berated him and screamed, "Set my man free!" She swatted at the police, and now the coupling was under still cufflinks. Seven Oaks also gave me my dog. He appeared out of thin air like a fog, easygoing with the neighborhood felines showing affection while a thyroid was growing. Left behind without pain or knowing if we could afford his towing. I feel at home when I feel his warmth because he represents all the pain that they endure. All those black, white, and brown people that lived on wet floors. My dog Zeus, black and white with brown eyes, was chained outdoors. When he escaped, he turned into our savior, not our fate. He's so big, we could never find another place. Now he fills our living room space. And this one is called A Single Man. Just your local baby face, a more mature and well-behaved than the amateurs that you displace. A listener that's passionate, deep conversations before affections hit. Don't worry about the thrash success of other people's past pretense. Just live your life with lavishness, exorbitance of experiences. All of this with less pretense nor hesitance, your heaven sent, despite this orbit's oldness. I'm more the realize you are potent. Equalize the barrier that you built up. It buries your inability to open up. The vulnerability is the stuff that you need to be intimate. So whatever you think of me, just promise me not to use the word vibes. Just try to free your mind of the TikTok and the vines. Tell me of the books you've read. That is what is divine. Maybe, just maybe, I'll make you mine in due time.
Hell yeah, that's the type of energy I need. And of course, it's new shit night, so of course I came here with some new shit. New shit! This was actually special, and I'm still working on it. But this is going to be the what's it called? When a bus. Whatever. Okay, this is going to be the name of this is titled King Mike. I don't know the word. I'm not a teacher. Okay, sure. Whatever. This is the title. This is the title poem to the book that I will be releasing very soon. King Lightskin. So. No, full book. Oh shit. Yeah, I'm gonna have a whole book release. Y'all gotta come through. It's gonna be Pitbull and Spades playing. Like we're gonna be chilling. New book shit. The journey I embarked on to become a king in my own right has been everything I needed to grow to evolve, to be who I was destined to be, to have an ability to write and captivate. My title came from royalty, betrothed to me by a queen of literary endeavors, Vocab Anderson. After my first performance at Second Verse, opening for hundreds of people, I was standing outside, and from a car I heard, "Hey, light skin, I better keep seeing you." And I made sure everyone kept seeing me every week, any show, new shit, showing my royalty in my actions, creating, inspiring others to create, mentorship, benevolence, chivalry, integrity, standing on everything I said, creating a legacy with my art, protecting this kingdom on multiple occasions, keeping order to continue. This can keep being a safe space emotionally because I made it that way physically. Inviting others to strengthen our numbers. I'm just doing what kings do. With a round table of peers, beers, and cheers, now I've graduated to king of my own rights. Now this isn't my kingdom. This is my home, a castle with a council, a moat full of liquor and nights we will never remember with family members I'd never forget. I am honored to serve as a servant to y'all. My strength is only an extension of those that love me here. I believe I am a staple in the spine of the book that is poetry, so it is only right I hold it together the best that I can. Welcome to the land of metaphors, personification, and trauma exposing. The leaders lead by example, by writing, performing, editing, nurturing. With every clap, stomp, and key jingle, we can create more kings, more queens, more royalty that doesn't fit a gender pronoun, all shades, all backgrounds, an unstoppable force. So join me, King Lightskin, as we stake claim in hearts and minds, strengthen our empire, contribute to the expansion of thoughts, unite. So who's willing to walk this road? Who's willing to walk through the shadows of death, to be everything that they wanted to be, to being held captive to free? Look at me if you don't want to believe, because I came from nothing to king.
I broke up my engagement a week ago and she keeps having to talk about that shit. No, I'm not gonna talk about that shit. You shit. So the other night, the conversation amongst friends was in regard to world chart ranking the penis size of men from all over the world. And in between giggles and other comments, we found out the following. Number one, the biggest dick country was Congo with an average 7.1 inches. So note to self, avoid Congo or Sudan for that matter, especially if you're like me and have a small vagina. Alright, number two, on average, South America is the most well-hung continent. Number three, North Korea apparently has the smallest penises at 3.8 inches. Number four, global average is 5.5 inches. Number five, the U.S. is at 5.1 inches. Number six, Puerto Rico averages at 6.3 inches. Number seven, there was once a Mexican man that averaged at 18.9 inches. Number eight, only 3% of men worldwide are over 8 inches, and only 6% of men actually need extra large condoms. So stop buying those Trojan manuals, you fucking liars. And I sat there thinking how I had nothing to contribute to this conversation, because in reality, I don't own a biological penis. And well, to be honest, I've only experienced 2 of those in my entire life. However, with my recent cancer diagnosis, I realized there is something I have that's bigger than 7.1 inches. This big dick energy. This fucking big dick energy. Because I don't need a physical big dick to know that I will beat this cancer. I only need this big dick energy to fight this monster. And this big dick energy is what makes me the chingona I am every day regardless. This big dick energy stands here for the last 12 months, week after week, competing in these poetry slams, and understand that there is no way this tumor will slow me the fuck down. Because daddy didn't raise no bitch. Because my body may be at war and chaos, but my mind is at calm. Because this big dick energy only reminds me every day that cancer can go fuck itself. Fuck cancer, but don't fuck that window. That life is short, And I'm not going down without a fight because BDE also means beautiful, determined essence. So I am that much. And this cancer fucking better run because I've survived it before and I will survive it again. And even at the end, this big dick energy isn't scared. I celebrate life with no regrets. And if I leave, it's with legacy. That if I go, I gave myself permission to exit because I will always have the last fucking word. And at the end, these big dicks around the world got nothing on this here big dick energy.
Thoughts on the tip of my tongue, but the words don't come out. Irrepressible thoughts, rattling and racing inside this magical chasm of a brain. Screeching and screaming thoughts, mugging me from the inside out. I cover my ears, but there's no way to silence the fears. This infirmity exposes my vulnerability, and yet not a word leaks out. Unrelenting thoughts, some whispering realities obvious and unpleasant, others hollering a similitude of the truth, toying with deception and the grandiose. These thoughts crave affection and fear rejection, while others indulge in arguments for attention. Constantly battling the feeling of incompetency causes me to create fiction that, paradoxically, discloses the truth. Little did I know these thoughts would lead me astray, and yet sometimes I wish they could stay that way because naivety always seems to slip away. These thoughts, so restless, painful, and dividing, have been building mysterious pathways, crisscrossing and colliding through this magical chasm for years, and to think all this torture only happens in the space between my ears. And yet, nobody knows. Nobody knows. Nobody knows. Nobody knows. How can they not know? I guess this constant dragon fight in my head doesn't show. How can they not know? The torture, 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 torture. I can't be that good of an actor. Guess my technique, skills, and fake laughter really do factor into this mask, this shadow, this character of disaster. I guess I really am that good at hiding the thoughts, so belittling and chiding. OCD rots me. Spiraling decay in this magical chasm of dismay. And yet, noticeable anxiety seems to stay at bay. Never caught, sneaking by, always there, but always shy. Never to be seen, never to be called out. My luck with disguise never seems to wear out. Forcibly locking it up, repetitively pushing it down. Anxiety slithering and squander when no one hears its sound. This magical chasm is spellbound with impenetrable walls not even therapy can break down. I try, always in cycles of 4, washing hands and keeping count, always gripped by the claws of self-doubt. Now's my chance, mouth open, ready to shout, help, 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 help. But only silence comes out. This is called I Love My Things. If you could give me a piece of paper or a knick-knack or a tchotchke, I'm like, oh shit, because I'm just on the border of being a hoarder, and that piece of paper has my name on it. It's mine. This 8x11 I shall keep for all time. It's mine. Keeping and keeping and keeping it kept. Emotionally connected, I feel physically inept to detach from all the paper that overfloweth with neglect. Piled high on my living room floor, gathered like Jenga, at any moment it could tackle and scatter, which would shatter and mute me, because I cannot talk about the massive amounts of trees that have been cut down for companies to contact me. And let's not talk about the printer, ink, and time it took to design the perfectly spaced emojis. But even though it might only be a dime, I'd rather you give me the time. Share with me your thoughts and interests, your passions, your cloud nine. Don't mail me something I don't even open, toss in the shredder. No one reads credit card letters. My phone is stained with such casualties. New credit cards, better credit cards, airline subscriptions, and new home deliveries. This Jenga tower of snail mail, envelopes, and mysteries sets me up for misery. I can't say why I can't let go of things. It's probably generational, genes. My grandfather, once he was fallen yet never forgotten, we cleaned out his belongings to find he had been keeping boxes and boxes and boxes of nothing. Old shoe boxes, gift bags, used tissue paper, some string, nothing but empty containers was seen. Empty cartons, empty trunks, empty closets, empty dreams. From a young age, he lived through the Great Depression with 8 brothers and sisters fought tooth and nail for every possession. Those transgressions spread to my father and now me. Small-scale hoarders across 3 generations, you see. Except it's not seen or even believed. The hoarding never becomes overwhelmingly obscene. We call it collections, reserves, needs. Honestly, there's nothing wrong with being the opposite of a minimalist. I love my things. Keeping attached to all the possessions passed down from my grandfather to my father now accumulates together to make me, me.
Okay. Only 5 honks, but no yells today. I'm making my way down the winding, half-abandoned road, wondering if I'm lucky or just getting old. The church bells sound the dum, dole, dum, dum. It must be 1 p.m. on someone else's maps. I stopped believing in church bells months ago. Oh shit, another honk. 2 slowdowns, and I look up from my journal to a creepy smile parked across the street. Guess I still got it. Or maybe it's the long blonde fall breeze hair that covers up the worry lines running naked across my face. Either way, a lot of men are jerks, but I'm still thankful for the sideways compliments. But I wonder how we could change the world if maybe women honked more, or men honked just a little bit less. So I'm sitting in front of the cathedral in cowboy boots and cut-off jeans cleaning the sweaty thighs waiting for my ride. The church will protect me if honking men don't save me from my old fragile ego first.
How can you explain a miracle? How can you find the words to express the feeling behind witnessing God's work in the making? How can a person imagine the depth, the intensity behind the enormous amount of love that a human can handle? How can you understand the bond between 2 hearts and 2 souls, the natural instinct to protect with absolutely every inch of who I am in half a second or less without even considering the might-haves? How can a person relate? How can a person stay sane trying to figure out how to explain the leading events between cause and effect, giving birth to a precious little gem? How is it justified to be gifted an angel meant for the gods, a joyful beacon of hope, the kindest of hearts with this heavenly center of blissful, peaceful love? She's God. If there ever was a question, I found my confirmation by looking at my daughter paint away her imagination. She's God. And if you're a parent, you understand it. Our children are our miracle. Don't forget it.
This guy tech make me look sweaty a little bit. A lot of it. Okay. Let's address the elephant in the room. I'm wearing a blanket, of course. I wrote a poem about it. So there you go. Jackets are a scam with zippers and buttons. They make you look cool, but their warmth doesn't last long. They come in all shapes, sizes, and colors, but when you need warmth, they won't do much to cover. No matter if it's down, wool or fleece, when it's cold outside, jackets won't suffice. Blankets are the way to go. They're snugly cozy and will protect you from the snow. They wrap around you in warmth and delight and keep you feeling snug on the coldest winter night. So if you're looking for warmth and comfort in your life, forget about jackets and grab a blanket for the night. This next poem is sort of my spirit animal, and then my uphill battle with this whole poetry thing, I guess. Alrighty. A stubborn bull was quite a sight. He'd always get what he wanted, alright. He'd stomp and follow and strut, till he'd gotten the very last butt. He'd make sure that no one would forget that his will always be met. He'd huff and puff and paw the ground till he'd gotten what he wanted around. He'd stand his ground and not budge. And to get him in his way, he'd not fudge. He beat his chest and stomped his feet until his wishes were complete. His stubbornness was really quite grand. It was quite the sight to hold in the land. He'd always get what he desired, and that's how his story expired. Yeah. I got a joke. What did the Christian porn star say when asked why she only films with one man? What? I'm just trying to keep it between us and God. I wrote a poem about it. It's a story worth remembering. There once was a Christian porn star whose career flew very far. Though what she did wasn't ideal, it was a way to pay the bills. She got quite famous in the end for her performance on her trimmings. Her job made her an outcast, but she was quite proud of her past. Her friends were all pretty shocked, but she was never mocked. She said God was in her heart, and he would never depart. Though she was a Christian porn star, her faith still went very far. She said she was still blessed, no matter what she professed. Right. Last poem, this is a New Year's poem. Everybody's kind of resolution of mine. It's time to ring in the new year. That means it's time to abstain from all the spirits in the beer. It's a time to stay quite plain. But the drinks that we leave behind are the ones that make us grin. We'll take a break for the last time until February set in. So raise a glass of cranberry juice and let's all sing a song. We'll be celebrating New Year's, but alcohol won't be alone. Woo!
It's a whole thing.
We love you, Brian!
I don't go by Brian anymore.
We love you, Brian.
Anyway, I got some old shit and some new shit. 2 poems.
Old new shit! Old shit!
So some themes here are a little bit of like underquitted love / maybe like longing and just I guess desire, maybe some dysfunction. So this is the first poem. You give me some, you give me nothing. All I'm left with is a bitter something, an empty crown and a dumb king. Like a flower, like a bee, you bloom and then you sting. How I long to see the inner workings of your mind filled with my pieces I can't find. Why are you so kind? Am I something or am I nothing? A dying bee with no sting. How many days will this bring? I can't say for sure what I am. All I know is I'm damned. Should I stay or should I scram? Scram or scream, we will see what together we can dream. And then this one has a little bit of like a prologue to it, and then it kind of jumps into the poem. So, I lost my sanity only to gain my vanity. Then I lost both to gain a word. Whirlwind, a passing tempest that takes and gives too much to a delicate, withering rose. Only the queen of innocence can make a use for such a defiling storm, but such is life with winds from the heart. The movements of the heart leave room for art. Dancing, leaning, becoming and going, all are mere impressions of a thorny rose experiencing the battering of a hurricane. And then this is the poem. In sanity, I desired vanity. In vanity, I lost my sanity. To be left, a whirlwind. A wind to pluck withered roses. A rose I desired and defiled them all. With it we will all fall. Further in the hole of our own making, painstakingly burrowed in dirt. We find we are the roses that could only hurt. We deny our truest nature only to find our essence we self-hated. It was the truest of bait that we could never master, only to lead to the greatest of personal disasters. Self-reflection. The endless void, finally birthing light, found the fight was within. In with a storm and a flower, whirling away from each other ever after.
That was the show. So I'm like, alright, I'm gonna be fucked up.
Brando used to be shit faced, man. He would like.
He used to dance for a lot longer before he did his poetry.
Oh yeah, he would dance for like 5 minutes before reading anything, and then like, he was like, Hanjo's gonna pay you. How y'all feeling?
Yeah, feeling alright.
No. You know, I said Hanjo's gonna pay you. How are you saucy boy. I told you, that's saucy boy right there. Saucy boy.
Is he ready for fucking Marino?
Yeah.
Oh, yes,
He's really
he seemed so proud and united. I was like, that is for the fucking...
Yeah.
Whatever. I'm gonna shut the fuck up.
Yeah.